On this episode of Missouri Life, we're galloping into Boonville. I'm MEREDITH HOENES. Thanks for joining me on another exploration of Missouri life. Today we visit a place nestled high atop a wooded bluff overlooking the Missouri River, Boonville, Missouri. A town rich in history offering visitors unexpected experiences. Conveniently located off of I-70 in Missouri's heartland, almost halfway between Kansas City and St. Louis, Boonville will surprise you with what it has to offer. With a lively, stimulating culture scene combined with small town charm and hospitality, Boonville will lure you in time and time again. Let's get started. If you're entering Boonville from Highway 40, the first thing you'll see as soon as you've crossed the river is the historic Hotel Frederick, the premier place to stay when visiting the beautiful downtown area. Guests of this lovingly renovated landmark will enjoy bold, eclectic interiors, well-preserved charm, and modern amenities at the Katy Trail's front door.
So the hotel was built in 1905, and it was built by the Sombart family, and they built this because it sat on the Highway 40 before I-70 existed. So this is where a lot of travelers came through. Built this, named it Hotel Frederick back then because that was their son's name. All the furniture that you see throughout, they hand-selected regional pieces from estates and everything all over this area. So it's furniture, from the 18th century. There were originally 24 rooms that were renovated. Now we have 30. But our biggest project, I'd say, together was doing the brick room on the lower level. It was just a dirt floor basement, hadn't been touched since 1905. And Zach's a musician, so he kind of had the idea that we need live music in this town, in this area, and this would be the perfect place for it.
We took what was a dirt floor basement and kind of a scary looking basement and took the bones of that and made it a really cool, like speakeasy type vibe. And we do live music there every Friday and Saturday night.
So the hotel sits on the National Register of Historic Places, and one of the important things about it is it's one of the best examples of Romanesque revival architecture in this area. It was built for $40,000 in 1905. So yeah, it's kind of hard to believe how massive it is, and that's all it costs to build it. But yeah, it has a lot of the original architecture and features on the inside too. I mean, a lot of things have been done with modern amenities for the guest rooms and areas, but a lot, original floors, original woodwork, original doors, all of that. Some of the stained glass window throughout is original too, so.
All of our rooms are decorated differently, so it's real unique. We have a lot of guests that come and they want to stay in a different room each time they come. Some stay in the same room each time.
We sit right on the Katy Trail. Probably about 50% of our guests come as Katy Trail riders. So they can come in, rent bikes. We're right on the trail, take off and do that. So I think that was an important thing to add. You really don't have, once you get here, you don't have to do anything else. We have, a bar, a lower speakeasy style bar. We have a great restaurant. You can sit out on the patio and eat. You can rent bikes from us. We have a game armoire and books and things if you're staying for a while. Kids can get out games and play. I think it means a lot to Boonville to have this huge property operating, and bringing lots of people to the area. It supports other local businesses so much. When we're really busy, people coming in, they're shopping downtown too, and they're eating at the other restaurants in town, or frequenting the casino or Warm Springs Ranch, Clydesdale Farm. So it's definitely a draw to our area.
And it's the first building that you see when you come in town on Highway 40. come across the bridge and it kind of welcomes you to Boonville. For most, it has that feel of a bed and breakfast. It's comfortable, our staff is friendly. When all those things come together, along with the history of the hotel too, it makes for a really magical place and a place that people just want to come back to.
Less than a block from the Hotel Frederick, you will find a variety of shops, restaurants, and small-town charm walking right down Main Street. You can even stop in at Wool and Cotton Company for a lesson in crafting handmade rugs and quilts. Dawn Heese, a master with a needle and quilting guru, sat me down to teach me needle turn applique.
In the store, we sell premium rug hooking supplies, quilting supplies. We have patterns and books. We have punch needle supplies, yarns, things like sari ribbon and things like that. So some of the supplies are things that we use in rug making or in quilting, but they can also be used in other things by people also.
You're going to teach me a technique today called applique.
Right, and it's needle turn applique.
It's needle turn applique.
We're going to trace this onto a piece of freezer paper, and you're going to trace on the paper side. And so if I had to make 8 of these, I only have to trace 1 on the freezer paper because I can use it over and over again. I'm not going to do a super great job here because this is just, kind of a demo. But you would trace your shape, and then you would cut it out on the drawn line. So you've traced your piece onto your freezer paper. Then you're going to lay it on the right side of your fabric with the waxy side down. Run your iron over it, and you see how easy that is? That's right. And then you're going to trace right against the edge of that, so you know exactly what your shape's supposed to look like. Then I'm going to cut out and leave a little bit of a seam allowance. So then you've got your seam allowance, so then when you pull it off, you know exactly what your shape's supposed to look like, okay? So here's my needle, and I'm going to take, by holding my thumb here, then I'm going to take this, and you see we've got that line drawn, and I'm just going to turn that under, okay?
She makes it look so easy.
And so you're going to go straight down and just into your background, right next to your piece.
Yes.
And then you're going to rock that up into that fold, and then you rock that right back up. And so your thread won't show because where it came out of your piece, you're going right back down, and then you're coming up into that side. So you're going to do it now. Bring your needle up from behind your piece. Perfect. Just bring that up because you're just getting it set.
That's just my start.
Yeah. Rock it up into the fold. Perfect.
Get a couple rounds.
Yeah, and then you just get more adept and comfortable, and then you won't have to think about it. Right now, you have to think.
Oh, I have to think
You know?
a lot.
What would your recommendation be for somebody who's wanting to get started in quilting, wanting to get started in that? Is there a simple startup?
Don't look for something that's simple. Look for something that you like, something that you want to do, because then you're going to do it. It should always be about the journey and the doing rather than an end result.
This is a place where you can actually do classes for...
Yes, we do classes for rug hooking, and we do classes for punch needle, and we do quilting classes. And in addition to that, when the shop is open, anytime the shop is open and we don't have a class going, people are more than welcome to come in and sit at the table and bring in whatever they want to work on. So, it's truly a community, and we all want to be a part of the community. So regardless of if you're a rug hooker, if you're a quilter or whatever, you can bring your stuff in and you can come and sit. For that matter, if you're crocheting, you can come in and sit with and people can, sit and share together and work.
Well, I know you're a teacher at heart for this stuff, so I thank you for taking on your toughest student that you've had so far.
You have no idea what a toughest student is.
Boonville is a town with a very rich history that can be seen in commemorative statues, downtown murals, classic architecture, and the Visitor Center. Right next to the Katy Trail Boonville Trailhead, the Visitor Center and River Rails and Trails Museum tells the story of the Boonville area history. This interactive museum features a half-scale keelboat, educational children's area, a steamboat history exhibit, and lots of train memorabilia. A great stop to learn about Boonville history, or grab a snack and a souvenir if you're traveling the Katy Trail. A half a block away is another museum with a more specific story.
the Mithcell Antique Motor Car Museum. Lewis Miller, a direct descendant of the creators of these beautiful classic machines, has built this collection over the last few decades. Proudly on display, these well-maintained cars, bikes, and other artifacts are a testament to early American automobile engineering.
My family actually made the Mithcell products, which includes a Mithcell wagon. Then they started making bicycles, motorcycles, and of course the automobile. Mithcell is the name of my great-great-great-grandfather who made the first wagon in Fort Dearborn in 1834, which now is downtown Chicago. Also, my great-great-grandfather is a Lewis, as myself, L-E-W-I-S, and he took over the wagon factory right after Henry Mithcell passed away in 1893. He is the gentleman that's responsible for making the bicycle, the motorcycle, and the automobile. In fact, we sold our first automobiles in 1903, the same year that Henry Ford sold his first Ford. It was very successful until the end. After the family died out, a New York investment firm bought the plant and the product, and they didn't know how to run an automobile factory, so they finally sold to Nash Rambler, Nash Ajax cars. So it was a short but fun ride, and we didn't have anyone in the family to take over after my great-great-grandfather passed away, so I wish I would have been born 150 years ago. We might still have Mithcell to go along with General Motors, maybe Buick, Olds, Pontiac, and Mithcell, who knows. We have a Mithcell club, and we have a roster. We send out flyers through car magazines and everything. And on our roster, we have probably maybe 160 Mitchells known to exist in the world. So they're really rare, hard to find, highly collectible. I have the largest collection in the world. I have 14 cars, 3 Mithcell wagons, the only Mithcell bicycle known to exist, and I have a 1902 Mithcell motorcycle that still runs, and I found that one in the Netherlands, in Holland. It's a great find. It makes my collection complete. And I truly, they're hard to drive, they're fun to drive. You got to be able to really multitask. You've got to be able to do a lot of things at once that we do not have to do in today's automobiles. Well, you have a spark retard and advance. You have not a gas pedal on these old ones, but you have a throttle lever. So if you want to speed up, slow down, you have to have one hand to slow down and speed up. Then you have to gear shift. You have to double clutch. Then, of course, there's not turn signals. Urban areas, you would have to use your hand signals, right turn, left turn, stop. So if you're trying to do all this at once, let's say we're going down a road in town, there's a stoplight ahead and it turns green, and I'm in high gear. I've got to double clutch and get into second gear. I've got to also slow down the speed of the car with the gas. I have to give a hand signal if I'm in urban areas. And plus steer the thing and get turned around the corner. And we don't have power steering. The gas tanks were under the seat, the driver's seat, or if it's a big touring car, maybe in a dash, but it was gravity feed because they didn't have fuel pumps in those days. So can you envision, you fill your car up, don't get the lid on tight on the gas tank, put the seat cushion back on, you're driving down the road, gas is flushing out, and you drop your cigarette. Interesting. They're fun to drive, but then you pay for that because then you have to clean them up and work on them. All old cars leaked oil really bad in the old days. In fact, people didn't go to a garage to get an oil change like we do today because they were adding oil all the time while they're driving it, so the oil in the engine was always clean. And I give good tours, fun tours, and I enjoy sharing, so come to Boonville and see my tour, see my collection.
The citizens of Boonville are some of the most friendly and welcoming people you will ever meet. You're guaranteed to encounter the best hospitality when you come for a visit. Along the banks of the Missouri River, amidst the cha-chings of the slots at the Isle of Capri Casino and Resort, resides the Brew Brothers, a comfortable, modern restaurant with a wide variety of menu items and beer selections. Flavor Guide Will stopped by to sample some of their best recipes.
So we opened up in July 31st of 2020. We re-renovated the buffet space that was here before. We wanted to go towards a more modern restaurant, a little bit more service. The Caesars Entertainment is all about family style service. We wanted to be able to, interact with our guests more. So we wanted to open up something that had great food, great drink, great atmosphere.
What kind of menu do you guys have, and what was the inspiration?
Our menu is kind of limited, and we did that on purpose because we wanted to make sure that the food that we put out was the highest caliber possible. I'm the type of chef that believes that less is more, and I want to say that every item on my menu I would eat any day of the week.
Wow, James, my mouth is watering. Where do I begin?
I would say that we start right here with these delicious burnt ends.
All right. I'll take your word for it. Let's go with that.
So the process starts about 3 days ago. So we pull the brisket out of the packaging, we trim it up, and then we season it. We let it sit for a day so that seasoning, that rib rub can really penetrate into it. Then we put it in the smoker and we let it smoke for 12 hours, and we bring it up and we cut it and we toss it with a little bit of garlic oil, some extra rib rub, and then some barbecue sauce and burnt ends.
All right. That made my mouth water even more, you just explaining it. I think I want to grab this top guy right here. Oh my gosh. It just implodes on itself. Oh wow. Here we go. Dear Lord. It's got the crispy outside, like almost gooey inside. Right. Oh my gosh. And that barbecue sauce to boot. That's amazing. Is this one of your most popular items?
Yes, we go through so much barbecue sauce here. So we make our own barbecue sauce in-house. And I want to say that we go through probably 40 gallons in a week. So, but no, we get a lot of great reviews on it. So the next, let's go ahead and hit up these fish tacos here.
Yes.
So we showcase our local Boulevard Brewery wheat beer, actually, where we tempura beer batter our cod and deep fry it. The slaw on top is a chipotle aioli mixed with coleslaw, red and green peppers, and a little bit of red onions. Then we sprinkle some cilantro over the top of it.
It smells so fresh and delicious. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Wow. Yeah, that crunch right on top is so fresh. Yeah. I love that fresh crunch, that flavor. That fish is just like nice and light right on the outside. And I've killed it again. I'm gonna be full before this is over, but.
Well, lastly, we have our Greg's Bacon Burger. Again, we hand patty all of our burgers in-house every day. So we try to make sure that we're only patting enough to get us through the day. So that way we're getting fresh burger out there. We cook off our bacon fresh every day. We cook off the onion strings are sliced in-house and breaded in-house and fried in-house. And then obviously we make our barbecue sauce from scratch in-house as well.
Wow, look at this. That looks beautiful. All right, here we go. That's a damn good burger. You know what goes great with a burger? A beer. That's right. That's right. So tell me about the different taps that you have on. I mean, it is the Brew Brothers after all.
Oh, absolutely. So we have 24 tap handles, and usually we will rotate through about 18 different beers. We do really like to showcase some of the local Missouri breweries. We have a lot of Mothers out of Springfield. We've got 6 Mile Bridge out of St. Louis, Logboat. We have Boulevard, Casey Beer Company. So we like to showcase those. We also like the craft scene. So we want to have something that's a little bit edgy, a little bit, not what you would normally get, but also, showcasing what we have around here.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to grab one to chase all of this down once we're done here.
Absolutely.
Well, James, thank you so much for having us and showing me this awesome food. You guys have built an awesome place here. Such delicious food and a great atmosphere. And you're next to the casino to boot, which makes it extra fun. So, thank you. But thanks for having us.
Absolutely, we appreciate you.
The countryside of Boonville is full of lush forest, scenic river views, and rolling hills. Occupying a good-sized plot of this beautiful landscape are some very large, nationally recognized, magnificent creatures, the Budweiser Clydesdales. At over 300 acres, Warm Springs Ranch has been the official breeding facility for these majestic animals for over 14 years. After a quick tour, I got to interview Patriot the Clydesdale and his handler Shelby about life on the ranch.
Shelby, you have Patriot with us today, and we're so grateful. He actually has to do things like this for training.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about what it's like here at the Clydesdale farm at Warm Springs.
Yeah, so out here at Warm Springs Ranch, we do all of the breeding for the Budweiser Clydesdales, and then we're also the training facility for the horses 3 years up to about 5 years.
You guys have a very well-oiled machine out here. How long has this been going on?
Well, we've been here at this facility since 2008, but the Budweiser Clydesdale started in 1933 to celebrate the end of Prohibition. So we've got 3 traveling teams, East, West, and Midwest, and we go all over the country delivering beer to anything you can think of, from a grocery store, downtown bar area, to baseball, football, anything you can think of really.
What are people's typical reactions when they get to come out here?
Yeah, for the most part, everybody's so happy and so excited. You know, we're kind of a bucket list item for a lot of people. So it's really fun to get people out here, you know, especially to meet Patriot, and it's something they've wanted to do their whole life. So there's a lot of tears, a lot of happiness.
And they may get to see brand new babies.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you come out here on a tour, you'll definitely see some mares and foals. You'll get to see some of our stallions, maybe a pregnant mare or two, and then whatever horses we have in training. It's just kind of a neat thing to come out for a general tour. You can come out, walk through the barn, see the horses that we have inside, and learn a little bit about the history and why we do what we do. Get to greet some of the horses and then finish your tour with some Budweiser. Or you can come out and take a VIP tour, go through the pastures, get to see some of the horses out in their element. And you can find all that on warmspringsranch.com.
What are some of the things that you look for, and after a foal is born, what are the possible steps that it'll go?
Yeah, so first off, to be a Budweiser Clydesdale, you have to have a brown body, black mane and tail, a white face, and then 4 white legs. So that's the first requirement they need to make. To be eligible to pull the wagon, they need to be male. So if they're male, they have the right color. At 6 months, we'll go ahead and we'll wean. At that point, that just means we separate mom from baby, and baby comes inside and we're gonna start the training. So at that point, he's just gonna learn how to have his halter put on and off, go in and out of the stall, have a bath, get his whiskers trimmed, and get on and off that trailer. So that's all he's gotta learn. We can usually do that in about a month or so. So once they kind of graduate that part of it, then they're gonna go back out on the pasture, and they'll just do a little bit of light training until they're about 3 years old. So at 3 years, we might pair a young horse up with someone like Patriot who knows the job, and we'll start learning how to pull the sled and the wagon. And then when he learns that position, his training's probably getting close to being finished, and then we kind of look at the hitches and see who needs a replacement horse. Maybe a horse needs to retire or just needs a little vacation. And like in Patriot's case, he'll be going and filling in probably on the St. Louis team pretty soon.
These horses are so well cared for, even down to their diet.
So all of our hay that we feed the horses for all 3 teams and all the home bases comes from the Stanley Hay Company, and that's up in Idaho. So that means, you know, if Patriot's here this week, he's eating Timothy, but if he's in Texas next week, he's gonna have the same hay, and that's just a little bit better for their diet. And we're also sponsored by Purina, so we've got the same grain wherever we go. Horses of this size usually eat about 40 to 50 pounds of hay every day, and anywhere from 1 to 10 pounds of grain, drink about 30 to 40 gallons of water. Now Patriot's still growing, so Patriot gets about 10 to 12 pounds of grain every day, so he's a growing guy.
How many foals do you guys expect in a year?
A good year for us, we're gonna shoot to have about 20 mares full. So
You guys will produce 20 Clydesdale.
yeah, we try to, and we'd like to have 10 fillies, so 10 females, and 10 colts, 10 males. So we always take the first letter of mom's name and we give it to the baby. So like Patriot's mom's name is Patricia. Patricia's a P, Patriot's a P, so it kind of helps us keep everything in line here.
I have Finley and I have Steel, and I'm gonna share those up if you ever need an S.
I feel like Steel would be a really good hitch gelding name, you know? We do have a Finn, so that's kind of the same.
It is, that's
kind of the same, yeah. So he works on one of the teams right now, so, but we'll keep Steel in mind.
And I'll offer Meredith too.
Well, see, now Marcy's about to foal, so that's an opportunity right there, yeah.
Patriot, thanks for joining us. Shelby, thanks for handling Patriot, although I think he's gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, he's had his dinner, so he's feeling a nap.
Boonville, Missouri is alive with art and culture, wonderful people, gorgeous scenery, and a rich 200-year history. It's a river city with both charm and beauty. I can tell you my time here in the Boonville community has been an exciting journey, and it is a Missouri must. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Missouri life.
Here at Missouri Life, we encourage you to explore our beautiful state and experience all it has to offer. So if you're looking for a daycation or passing through for an evening, here's a quick overnight itinerary to help you maximize your experience. Book a stay at the historic Hotel Frederick and end your night with a delicious meal, a tall pint, and some live entertainment at the Brew Brothers restaurant. Maybe afterward, you can try your luck at the Isle of Capri Casino and Hotel.
Missouri Life magazine explores and celebrates the people, places, history, and destinations that make our state unique. Subscriptions to Missouri Life magazine are available at MissouriLife.com. For exclusive content, full episodes, and much, much more, subscribe to the Missouri Life channel on YouTube and enjoy the journey at your own pace.
I like that. I feel like I'm in Hollywood now.
Hey, this is a production. Welcome to the set. Clap it. All right, we're gonna have to do it louder.